A lot of perfumes try to market themselves as either being for men or for women. Some are unisex, but most of the time it's marketed towards a specific gender. And some perfumes, I would say, don't really need that because they're perfectly unisex, even if they're not marketed as such. And one of them that I have to bring up is Obsession by Calvin Klein. This one has obviously been used quite a lot already, but this perfume is just very classic. It was originally created for women in the 80s. It's still marketed as a feminine fragrance. There is also a men's version of Obsession, but the thing is that, I mean, it came out in the 80s, which is like 40 years ago basically, and I don't know exactly what year it came out, but it was a huge hit in the 80s. It was marketed to be this super ultra sexy animalistic musk fragrance, and that was like new, all the rage when it came out. And the thing about Obsession, for women specifically, the original formulation, is that it has these amazing notes. It has these kind of almost sweet, smoky notes that you kind of get at first, like a cigar, you know. It has this strange bit of smoky sweetness, and then it changes, and then it becomes richer, a little bit syrupy, not too sweet, you know, the sweetness is not too prominent, but you get these more animalistic notes, lots of musk, lots of amber, so it's resinous, you know. You can kind of get an idea from the color it has, and I would say it's one of the best unisex fragrances, even though it's not like officially marketed as a unisex fragrance. Specifically the women's version, because like I said, there's also Obsession for men, but the formula on that one is kind of a little bit iffy, you know. I don't think it's as good as this, the female marketed one. It's a little bit weaker and not as impressive, but this original one is really good for men and women for several reasons. First of all, it doesn't, you know, really balance to either stereotype. You know, stereotypically feminine fragrances are light floral, you know, whatever. Then the stereotypically male fragrances are, you know, these super tense musk smoke notes, and that sort of thing, you know, harsher notes. But this Obsession is really unique because it kind of blends a bunch of different things together that you wouldn't really expect. Like the top notes right off the bat, you get the strange mix of vanilla mixed with green notes, mixed with some orange blossoms and a bit of citrus, like, you know, orange peel sort of thing. And that alone is already, you know, a lot thrown out at you. A lot of perfumes only use a few, you know, minor notes, maybe some light florals, but this is already getting into the vanilla. It's already getting into, you know, the citrus and some herbal notes like basil and stuff, and then it just gets more and more into cedar, oak moss, sandalwood spices for the middle notes, and then even heavier stuff in the base notes, mainly civet, incense, amber, wood notes, that sort of thing. So there are some floral notes, mainly orange blossom, jasmine, and rose, and even though those are pretty minor, they still really kind of keep the perfume balanced. So while it doesn't, you know, it doesn't give the perfume that more typical sweet, floral, feminine sort of thing, but it keeps it from getting too musky or too animalistic and that sort of thing. Meanwhile, the musk notes and the wood notes, they're definitely very prominent, but they're not too much, because some perfumes are, specifically men's fragrances, some of them are really, really heavy, you know. You might not want to wear something so heavy if you don't have to. And this balance, this kind of push and pull between the floral notes and the kind of musk wood notes really gives this more of a neutral, like gender neutral sort of vibe. And I mean, if you were blindfolded and you smelled this perfume, you wouldn't be able to tell automatically if it was a man or woman's perfume. And that's kind of the magic of it, I think, because when it was first released, it was kind of marketed as, you know, power perfume for women. But, you know, I would say Calvin Klein missed out by not making this, marketing it as a unisex fragrance, because they probably could have gotten way more, you know, sales. And the potency of this perfume is also really impressive. It's stereotypically feminine fragrances are usually a little bit on the weaker side because floral notes generally don't last that long. They're lighter, they will dissipate more quickly. Meanwhile, men's like fragrances and clones, they are designed to be more potent, more kind of show off, you know, sort of thing. This again is perfectly in the middle. It's not gonna, you know, fumigate you, and it's not going to disappear soon after you put it on either. So it lasts a good long while, maybe around, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours, and then gets a bit more mellow after that. But generally, it's really, you know, nice and balanced in its potency. So it does last a good while, and the sillage is also very nice and balanced. Not too, you know, it's not gonna ravage the room with the stench, but it's not going to be too intimate of a fragrance either. So it's, you know, again, very balanced. And I would say, I mean, it's a pretty pleasing fragrance. I wouldn't say there's probably too many people who dislike it, because it is, you know, crafted in a very particular way. It's crafted to be attractive, seductive, that sort of thing. And I mean, just the overall blend of notes is very interesting, you know, blending green notes with vanilla, with incense, with civet, and all that. And the main thing is that if you don't really like musky perfumes, then I suppose you wouldn't care for this too much. But even so, even if you're not a big fan on musk or animalistic notes, this perfume still has that balance with some of the floral notes, some of the citrus, a bit of wood, some spices, you know, so it's not too much of one thing. It has this really nice kind of back and forth balance, and the scent does change a bit the longer you wear it. You know, once you first put it on, it'll be a little bit sweet, a little bit kind of vanilla forward, and then later on it'll change to be a little more smoky, more civet forward, more animalistic, you know, so it changes, you know. So, but overall, I mean, this is men and women could easily enjoy this formulation. And I haven't tried the men's version, but I do know that people don't seem to like it as much as this female version. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe just they did the formula wrong, but that's pretty much all I have to say about Obsession. If you have anything to say about it, you can always leave your opinions down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.